Luce Irigaray's To Be Born, Genesis of a New Human Being, is a profound and poetic meditation on human existence, creation, and becoming. Through this work, Irigaray delves into themes of birth, individuality, and the interconnectedness of human life, framing her discussion within the broader context of philosophical, ethical, and spiritual inquiry. Building on her earlier explorations of the feminine and relationality, she continues to challenge the patriarchal paradigms that dominate Western thought, offering instead a vision of humanity rooted in the recognition of difference, mutuality, and creativity. This book serves as both a critique of existing frameworks and a call to reimagine the process of human becoming, emphasizing the transformative potential of birth, not merely as a biological event, but as a philosophical and existential phenomenon. Irigaray begins by interrogating the meaning of birth, positioning it as a central, yet often overlooked aspect of human existence. In her view, birth is not simply a moment in time but a continuous process of becoming that shapes our identity and relationships. She critiques the ways in which Western philosophy has historically marginalized the significance of birth, focusing instead on death, transcendence, and the abstract notion of the self. By shifting the focus to birth, Irigaray reorients philosophical inquiry toward the origins and conditions of human life, emphasizing the role of the maternal and the relational in shaping our existence. For her, the act of being born is not only physical, but also metaphysical, representing the emergence of a unique individual into a world of relations and possibilities. Central to Irigaray's argument is her emphasis on the duality of human existence, particularly the interplay between individuality and relationality. She critiques the dominant philosophical tradition that privileges the autonomous self, arguing that such a perspective neglects the fundamental role of relationships in shaping human identity. For Irigaray, birth is the first encounter with the other, a moment that establishes the foundation for all subsequent relationships. This encounter with the other, particularly the maternal other, is not one of domination or subjugation, but of mutual recognition and co-creation. She explores how the maternal relationship provides the conditions for the emergence of subjectivity, challenging the patriarchal tendency to erase or diminish the maternal role in the formation of identity. Irigaray's reflections on birth are deeply intertwined with her critique of language and culture. She argues that the symbolic structures of Western thought have historically excluded or suppressed the feminine, creating a linguistic and cultural framework that is incapable of fully articulating the experience of birth and becoming. For Irigaray, the language of patriarchy reduces birth to a biological or mechanical process, stripping it of its existential and spiritual dimensions. She calls for the creation of a new language that can express the richness and complexity of birth as a relational and transformative act. This new language would not only honor the feminine, but also open up new possibilities for understanding human existence and the interconnection of life. A significant aspect of the book is Irigaray's exploration of difference, particularly sexual difference, as a foundational principle of human existence. She critiques the homogenizing tendencies of Western philosophy, which often seeks to erase or subsume difference in favor of universal concepts. For Irigaray, Difference is not a threat to unity, but a condition for creativity and growth. Birth, as the genesis of a unique individual, embodies this principle of difference, highlighting the importance of recognizing and valuing the otherness of each human being. She argues that the recognition of difference is essential for fostering authentic relationships and building a more inclusive and equitable society. This recognition extends not only to gender, but also to the broader dimensions of identity and existence, challenging the hierarchical and exclusionary structures that dominate contemporary culture. The maternal plays a central role in Irigaray's vision of birth and becoming. She reclaims the maternal as a philosophical and spiritual principle, emphasizing its importance in shaping human identity and relationality. For Irigaray, the maternal is not merely a biological category, but a space of creativity, nurturance, and transformation. She critiques the patriarchal tendency to marginalize or devalue the maternal, arguing that this erasure has profound implications for our understanding of existence and community. By reintroducing the maternal as a central principle, Irigaray offers a new framework for thinking about birth, identity, and relationships. This framework challenges the hierarchical and dualistic structures of Western thought, proposing instead a relational ontology in which the maternal is recognized as a source of life and connection. Irigaray's writing in To Be Born is both philosophical and poetic, reflecting her belief in the necessity of a new language to articulate the experience of birth and becoming. Her use of metaphor and imagery creates a rich and evocative narrative that invites readers to engage with her ideas on a deeper, more intuitive level. This approach reflects her broader commitment to challenging the rigid and exclusionary language of traditional philosophy, creating instead a space for the emergence of new ways of thinking and being. While her writing can be dense and challenging, it is also deeply rewarding, offering profound insights into the nature of existence and the possibilities for transformation. The book also engages with broader ethical and political questions, exploring the implications of birth and becoming for contemporary society. Irigaray critiques the culture of individualism and consumerism that characterizes much of the modern world, arguing that it fails to recognize the relational and interconnected nature of human existence. She calls for a new ethical framework that prioritizes care, mutual recognition, and the cultivation of relationships. This framework is rooted in the recognition of birth as a relational act, emphasizing the importance of nurturing and sustaining life in all its forms. For Irigaray, the recognition of our shared origins and interconnectedness is essential for addressing the social and ecological challenges of our time. One of the most thought-provoking aspects of the book is its engagement with the spiritual dimensions of birth and becoming. Irigaray does not approach these themes from a dogmatic or doctrinal perspective, but rather explores the ways in which birth can be understood as a spiritual event. She emphasizes the sacredness of life and the importance of recognizing the divine in the process of creation and becoming. This perspective challenges the secular and materialistic tendencies of contemporary culture, offering instead a vision of existence that is rooted in wonder, reverence, and the recognition of our shared humanity. For Irigaray, birth is not only a biological event, but also a moment of transcendence, representing the emergence of the divine Within the human,